best science of our time is now showing that every organ in the human body has the ability to heal itself, given the right environment. Even the organs we were told could not. So spinal cord tissue, brain tissue, heart tissue, pancreatic tissue, prostate tissue, all of these organs are actually designed to repair and heal themselves under the right conditions, given the right environment. What are those conditions? That's the question. Some of them are environmental, things like water, air, just the quality of our food. Some of them may be chemical, the supplements that we take, and some of the herbal products that our ancestors understood and used with great success in healing their bodies before modern medicine ever came along. And I think those are interesting. What really fascinates me is the inner environment. And this is the environment that the Buddha talked to us about so eloquently. And the Buddha said that every man and woman is the architect of their own healing and their own destiny. When we have an emotion within our hearts, that emotion sends a signal to our brain, and the quality of that signal determines what the brain does in response to the emotion. So if you can imagine a signal from the heart to the brain that is a very smooth series of waves, nice, even, coherent is the term that's used, waves from the heart to the brain will match that smooth, even, organized chemistry, and it will release the chemistry that supports life into our bodies. This is where our immune systems become really strong, super immune response. On the other hand, the stress chemistry, when we feel those moments of frustration, anger, hate, jealousy, rage, fear, the signal looks different. It looks kind of like a bad day on the stock market. It's a lot of very chaotic, unorganized, jagged waves going from the heart to the brain, and the brain receives those waves and says, oh, I need to match this chemistry. This is stress chemistry. So people ask me, what about children? You know, children, young children that come into this world with some condition, how can that be from their subconscious, or is it? And the answer to that is that we simply don't know. I just have to be honest and say that every human that emerges into this world, what has happened before we got here is different for all of us, and we have no way of knowing, and this is where we begin to cross the boundaries of science and spirituality, and the words like karma, or destiny, or fate. We don't know what those are. What I do know, without any shadow of a doubt, is once that beautiful child arrives in this world, their bodies, their cells, their DNA will respond to the environment and the conditions that we give to them. Our job is to learn to optimize those environments and those conditions. How could my prayer, how could my meditation, how could my loving thoughts of gratitude and appreciation possibly impact the healing of another person in the room with me or halfway around the world? And the answer is that we are deeply connected through a phenomenon that is known as entanglement. Entanglement is the term in physics that tells us once something is unified, once something begins as a whole, even though it is separated physically by many miles or light years, is what they're finding in the cosmos, energetically everything's still connected. Why is that important? Because if we go back far enough in time, there was a point in time when you, me, and the Earth were all connected before what is called the Big Bang, the big release of energy. When that happened, physically particles began to separate. Energetically, the particles remain connected. We are part of this Earth, and we are part of one another. And that empowers you, and it empowers me to participate in the healing of our bodies and those of our loved ones in ways that science is only beginning to understand. So the more that we can feel the feeling as if our healing has already occurred, giving thanks for that healing already being present, that is the trigger for our bodies to grow the nerve cells to make the connections to trigger the brain chemistry to reflect that healing. We have this advanced nervous system that we regulate through the choices we make in our lives. What we think, what we feel, what we believe, and specifically the emotions that we choose to respond to what life brings to our doorstep.